Thanks very much. My name's Hamish, and I'm the CEO of iCar Asia. I joined the business 8 months ago, having spent the previous 10 years working for eBay in London and Amsterdam and here in Sydney. And I really joined the business because of what I think is going to be a really amazing next 5 years within the ASEAN region in which we operate. Patrick hinted at some of the things that are happening there, but we are really seeing the wave of digital transformation flow through the industry. And iCar Asia's been around since 2012 and is really well positioned to be one of the key drivers of that in the automotive industry. We'll spend the next 10, 15 minutes giving you a bit of background about iCar and a background about the ASEAN region and some of the key drivers of that transformation. Happy to say, actually, we're the #1 network of automotive portals. So we're the largest automotive classified businesses and content portals across Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia. And we were founded in 2012 by Patrick and Luke, and they listed the business on the Australian Stock Exchange in order to get the funds together to purchase the first businesses which would make up the iCar Asia Group. And these were the leading classified players in both Malaysia and Indonesia. Since then, we've launched into Thailand, where we also own and operate the largest digital automotive classified business there. And to complement these businesses, we've added automotive content portals in each of our countries to provide better information to people as they look to make their decisions around buying, owning, and selling a car. And that's really the vision for iCar Asia. We want to unlock the value in that value chain of the automotive industry by being the place that people turn to connect to people or businesses to solve their automotive needs as they move through those different states of buying, owning, and selling a car. So this combines a marketplace for buying and selling with the right information that they need to solve problems during that ownership phase. And we picked the 3 largest car markets within the regions to start with. Within Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia, there's over 1 million cars transaction every year. And this reflects the population size, which is close to 360 of the 600 million people that are in the region. And already we see large levels of internet penetration, so close to 200 million of those 360 million already online. And as Patrick hinted at, mainly online through their smartphones. We also see increasing purchasing power in the population. So GDP per capita on average across the region is getting to those stages where you see a real acceleration of the volume of cars that are owned across the population. And there's a big gap between the volume of cars that are owned in the countries that we operate in compared to a country like Australia. So on average, only 100 cars per 1,000 are owned in our 3 countries, compared to over 700 in a country like Australia. So the next 5 years are going to be about really growing that car market across the region. That said, these markets are already very big. So 1 million cars transaction in each of the markets, that's split fairly evenly between both new cars and used cars. So across our 3 markets, over 2 million new cars are transacted every year and over 3 million used cars. So these are very big markets, and there's already a lot of money being spent, particularly on advertising. And in the new car space alone, over 2 million Australian dollars is spent every year on advertising. And what's particularly exciting for us is only 10% of that is currently spent online. So the next 5 years, we expect to be very fast growth for that online advertising space. And we want to position iCar to be taking a lion's share of what will be close to $1 billion Australian advertising market for online advertising. And what we've been doing with the iCar businesses is really taking that market leadership position. And happy to say, in each of our markets, we own that market leadership position in the digital automotive space. And on average, we have twice as many people coming to our sites than our nearest competitor, and over 4 times as many listings on our site itself. So this gives us a great position to be able to grow the market and grow with that market over the course of the next 5 years. And we've defined a few strategic areas for us to focus on, which are divided into these 3 major areas. First of all, we're very much focused on how do we improve the user experience for consumers and businesses that interact with our marketplace. And we'll talk you through some of the things that we're doing specifically in that area in the next few slides. We're also then very focused on winning the core markets. So the 3 markets we operate in are very much the big prizes within the ASEAN automotive space. And we're very much focused on building our brands and building the vibrancy in our marketplace so that we can win those core marketplaces. We're also then looking at the future. So how do we expand our proposition within those countries into new areas? As we said, our vision is to really occupy that whole value chain. So what types of other categories or other services can we add into the countries where we operate? So we're looking at things like finance and insurance partnerships, maintenance partnerships, expanding into new categories. We're already in motorbikes in Indonesia, and we're really looking at how do motorbikes, commercial vehicles, and parts and accessories fit into our proposition in each of the 3 markets. So just to touch on some of the things that we're going to launch this year to really improve the user experience. In Q2, we're going to launch into a reimagined way of people buying new cars online. This includes a whole new way of searching, so you can find that car that actually fits your lifestyle or your budget. A better way of connecting with dealers so you can complete that deal faster, and we'll show you some of that in the next few slides. But also in Asia, it's very important to connect the physical world to that digital space. So in May, we're going to be launching into physical car events where we'll give manufacturers the opportunity to connect with users to actually sell cars through a test drive event that we'll be piloting in Malaysia. We recognize that we have different types of users that use our platform as well. And car dealers have a different set of needs compared to consumers on the platform. So we're looking to address these needs by launching a whole new way of car dealers to manage their business through our marketplace. And the start of this is a mobile phone application that we've already launched in Indonesia and will soon follow in Malaysia and Thailand that allows a car dealer to manage their business through our application. So all of their advertising, all of their customer interactions will be able to be managed through this mobile application that also recognizes some of the needs of the individual markets that we operate in. So for example, in Indonesia, internet coverage can be a bit hit and miss. So we need this application to be able to work offline in a way that allows any car dealer to be managing their business whether they have internet coverage or not. And when they come back online, to be able to upload all those things to our marketplaces and handle their customers in that way. At the heart of this application is the chat functionality. I think HiPages showed a great example of how chat can really remove the barriers to interacting. And this is already the consumer behavior that we see in all of the markets that we operate in. Chat really dominate the way that internet users like to communicate with each other. And in each of our markets, quite interestingly, we see a different chat platform dominating. So in Malaysia, that's WhatsApp, where 80% of all internet users are active users on that platform. In Thailand, that's the Line application. And believe it or not, in Indonesia, that's BlackBerry Messenger. Albeit it's a decoupled thing from the actual device, and is now a mobile application that you can install on any device overall. And now it's owned by a local Indonesian media business there. But it really shows the consumer behavior already has rapidly shifted towards adopting these types of communication channels. So within our platforms, we are now implementing the types of messaging platform that HiPage shows. This really will reduce the barriers to consumers connecting with businesses and be able to successfully arrange the sale of a car. It also provides the platform off the back of which we can provide an innovative way to improve the way that different customers interact with each other. And this is really in the space of what will become the friendly iCar chatbot. We're aiming to use machine learning and AI to be able to improve the way that people move through those key customer flows, also improve the way that we can add value into those different interactions. I think there's some great examples of this across the world. I'm sure if you're using Slack, you've had a great onboarding experience with the Slack bot introducing to you to all the features of that platform. I think KLM does a great job of this, solving a problem around customer service with their integration into the Facebook Messenger app, where they're now solving thousands of customer problems a day in multiple languages. Of course, you do have to be a little bit wary when you do this. So Microsoft, I think, had a great idea of how could they interact on Twitter with their people and introduce this chatbot, who started off very friendly, great to interact with. Unfortunately, it took a turn for the worse at some points, but who knows, he could maybe get elected president one day. For us, we're looking at how do we use these types of technologies to move people faster through these different flows that we have on our marketplace and add value along the way. One of the key problems for car dealers is that they don't put a huge value on a lead. If someone just types in an email to someone saying, is this car available, a car dealer doesn't necessarily consider that to be a valuable interaction. So the first chatbot we're introducing is around lead qualification. So this will be an iCar chatbot that interacts with the car buyer when they submit the lead, asks some different questions about how they are thinking about buying a car to build a profile of them that we can then pass on to the car dealer and deliver much more value to them as they start to then interact with that user. We're also looking at how to use this to help that car dealer run their sales team, give feedback to individual salespeople about how they should be improving the way that they interact with car buyers. On top of that, we want it to be a way to improve the car buying experience. So if the person that you've submitted a lead to, for example, is not available to chat, then we can redirect that customer to have a conversation in that moment with a different car dealer who has a similar car that they are actually looking for. And the other way we're looking to use this technology is to be able to gather information back from people to have things like ratings and reviews become a key part of the way that we build trust across our marketplaces. So that's all I wanted to talk you through today, but just to wrap up, I guess the next 5 years for us, I think it's really going to be fascinating within that ASEAN region. We've seen amazing transformation already, particularly driven by the consumer behavior changes that we're seeing. And we think this is going to flow rapidly through to the way businesses think about digital channels. And particularly in the automotive industry, we think iCar can be part of really the driving force behind that digital transformation. So thanks.